Welcome to episode 3 of the Realest Amateur Boxing Podcast with Coach Peña. Today I have a special guest from Davenport, Iowa, my uncle, Patrick Peña. How you doing, Patrick?
Doing good.
Tell the podcasters a little about yourself, your little background and all that stuff like that. I know it already, you know, I tell people all the time, but they need to hear it too. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Patrick Peña, head coach of the Peña's Davenport Boxing Club. Took over for the late Albino Peña, who was doing it for 43 years. And then now I've been down there 12. So we've been serving the community for 55 years now. I couldn't let that end, so I had to keep it going. I boxed for 20 years off and on, 15 straight, and then off and on the last 5. Decided to come back and do a pro fight, and then took some time off again, and then another pro fight when I had the opportunity to fight on a Michael Nunn, James Toney national championship fight in Davenport, and then the late Michael Carbajal champion. They were both on there, so I had the opportunity, so I had to do it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Had to lose 50 pounds.
Yes, I remember all that. I remember the night down at the John O'Donnell Stadium, and then the after set at your house.
Yeah.
I remember all that. Yeah, that was a good time. Too bad Michael had he didn't get that win, but you got your win.
Uh-huh.
That's what it was about.
And then I became, I had over 350 amateur fights. Won about 90% of them. But always the national time, man. When you fight the best of the country, man, it's just, I wasn't the best. I wasn't the best. Obviously, wasn't the best. I won some national titles, but not a bunch. But I won a bunch of state and regional titles. And now I'm trying to move it on to these kids today.
Yes. And I remember it was my pleasure to be with you at that meeting where they honored you into the Iowa Boxing Hall of Fame. That was awesome. Up there in Marshalltown. That was great. Yeah, like I was telling them before, back when we fought, it was a lot harder to make it to the nationals. You'd have to fight in so many state shows and so many bouts at regionals just to get to nationals. Now these kids can pretty much walk to nationals. It meant so much more back then, I think. That's why I keep trying to tell these kids these days that just keep working hard. You guys got a little easier road to it than we did back then. But it's about now, and that's what it's about. Like I said, I wish I was a little closer, like maybe Iowa City type of way to Davenport, so we could be more involved with each other. I know we're 2.5 hours away from each other, and we can't really get together and spar like we could, but we definitely have good sparring matches when we do come there. You come up here, it's always good grounds, and we're gonna do a coach's corner. I'm making something new to the coach's corner. I had a guy reach out to me and ask me some questions. So what I'm gonna do is let you answer the question, say your little input, and I'll say my little input. And if you say the same input that I do, I'm gonna say that's the same thing I was thinking about. So the first question, Tony Spencer, local guy here in Des Moines. He's the coach of his son. Actually, he has 2 sons up here. They're all unattached gym, but he's a coach. Pretty cool kid. And I say kid like always because I'm 53. And he's a younger guy, so he brings his little kids into my gym to spar my little guys, which is awesome. So he had a couple of questions. Is hard sparring a necessity for preparing for a match?
I think so. To some point. I don't like the pounding. Like for instance, if you got the guy against the corner and you're going to throw like maybe 5 or more hard punches, you don't need to do that. My opinion. But you got to definitely have that sparring in. If you don't, that little contact stuff I see on some dudes doing real slow and what's that? to me, that's not going to do it. You gotta have that. They gotta get used to being hit. Is one main thing. I mean, you'll see that in a boxer when they first step into the ring. When you get in that first, when you want that boxer to thinking if he's gonna have his first fight, you get him to spar, and you see the reaction he has when he gets hit. That's what you'll find out right away. But you got to have some of that hard contact because they got to be used to what's going to come at them. That could be pity pat stuff all the time.
And that's exactly what I tell them. A good coach will be able to oversee a great sparring session. They know when to make them pick it up. They know when hey, you weigh more, better than him. Not as better, as more experienced. So I want you to do this. I want you to do that. And you're working on things, and that kid's trying to figure it out. So yeah, I see that stuff too. And when that stuff's happening, I'm like, that ain't how it's supposed to be. But at the same time, like this the realest show. So speak what you want to speak. Like I said, I'm gonna speak what I want to speak. People don't like what I'm saying, and they don't gotta listen to the show. That's all it's about. We always kept it real at D.B.C. Like I said, I had to represent today, man. It's my favorite shirt. You know what it is. You know what it is. It's that Peña D.B.C. with Grandpa and the gloves. The one we wore for the funeral. I was very upset when I lost it, man. I lost it for over a year and a half, man. I could not find it. I'm calling everybody. I'm pissed off, and I'm like, man, where's my shirt? Guess what that damn thing was at? Behind the headboard of the bed. So I got it now, and I am never letting that thing go behind here again. So I must have got hot and threw it back there and forgot all about it, but I found it now. Anyway, yeah. So going back to this, preparing these guys to fight. Like I said, when you're in your home, your home gym, you get people come in, you tell the coach, hey, let's work, and you see the other kids start getting kind of crazy, and I'm like, hey, okay, turn it up a little bit. Don't let them come in here swinging all crazy on you. So then you got to turn it up a little bit. So then I'm always like, okay, what y'all want to do? Y'all want to work, or y'all want to make this a match? Because if y'all want to make this a match, we can do that, but that's not what this is about right now. We're about trying to get this work in, and let's work. What do you think about that?
Same. I agree. You come into my gym. I've had it plenty of times when I used to box, man. Had dudes come in and we work, and I still wouldn't pick it up. I would that bell ring. I walk over to my dad and get the okay. It was just like I respected him so much, man. I respected what he thought of me and whatever. And so I come over and had a dude come there, and it was before my first pro fight, matter of fact. And it was Cedar Rapids, and they came in, and man, dude, pop, dude was popping me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I waited to the brown. I walked over. I said, Dad, I don't think he's trying to spar. And
exactly.
He looked at me. He said, pick it up a couple notches.
Pick it up, exactly.
Notches. So I went out there to pick it up to that notch where I stay. I thought I was better than him anyway, so I stay. I just take that little notch up more. So I take it up about 5% better. I'm 5% better than what you was. Okay. I never tried to beat on anybody that I had more experience than. I was just giving that little much more, so they would push to be at the same level that they are a little better. You know what I mean? So that's what I did.
Yeah, and that usually settled things down because they were like, oh, okay, I better, I came out there.
Exactly.
Balls to the wall, and dude starting to piece me up. Now he probably can go a lot harder than that, so I better figure it out real quick. That's why I always tell the kids, figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
And I don't
Let's
mind.
go.
Yeah, I don't mind that other person I'm sparring. I wouldn't mind him doing his best. But that's what I want him to do. You know what I mean? If it's way better than me, then slow it down. Then he should slow it down.
Exactly.
Or have his coach,
you got to know.
Slow it down a little bit. But I want him to give him his best when he comes there. So I'm gonna give my best and a little more.
Exactly. That's exactly. Like I tell the kids here at my gym, I said, you get kids. I said, I keep trying to tell them the times were different back then. You get kids walking in off the streets by themselves, think they're this and that, and then they want to spar and do all this. And sometimes you got to run them out the gym, and you got to make sure that's what Grandpa wanted. Not what he wanted, but if you ran someone out the gym, he comes in, go on wild, and you work them up a little bit, and if they come back, that means they want it. If they don't come back, that means that they was in the wrong gym, or you know how it goes, Pat. It's just the sparring is big. Like I said, like a lot of kids that's oh, can we spar? Can we spar? I said, well, have you been working out hard? Do you think you've been working out hard? I always question them that. They're like, yeah. I'm like, I don't think you're working out hard enough to spar this week. So why don't you show me something, and then I'll let you spar a little more. I said, just because I'm down at the other end of the gym, don't think I'm not paying attention to what's going on. I pay attention to everything in this gym. And they just look at me. And the one thing that's so funny, I tell them all the time, is that I said, man, I could be up in the front talking to a parent, and there's 5 people in the back of the. You know, my gym isn't that big. I said, there's 5 people in the back of the gym. And I hear no bags being hit. I said, I don't even gotta see you not working. I can hear it. They just look at me. I'm like, I've been around the game for a long time. I know. Mm-hmm. Like one time, I blew these kids' minds. They was all supposed to be jump roping before I took the jump ropes away because we don't have the space. And I'm in the back room in the storage doing something. I don't hear no. So come on, I said, get the move in. I yell out the door. Next, I'm like, I don't got to be out here. I don't got to be out there to know what's going on, guys. You're cheating yourself when you're not working out hard. So I'm constantly telling these guys, and I don't care if their parents are right there or not. I say, if you don't want to come into the gym to work out hard, stay home. Don't come in here and waste my time. Don't waste my space, pretty much. So if you come in here to work out, I said, all I ask you to do is listen, work out hard, and keep your hands up. That's the only things I ask you. I'm not even asking you for that much. But, the sparring is absolutely great. Like I said, when you spar, that's how kids learn too. I definitely got to get back there more often, man, because keeping it real again, we don't get that much sparring up here. And the Quad City is full of clubs, Alley Cats, Rock Island, Beasley, Sharpshooters, whatever. I know I can go to any of them gyms to take some kids down there to spar, but it's always about trying to make that time to make it work for everybody.
Yeah.
So that was a good question. I just wanted to put out there for Tony Spencer, and he had another one. His thoughts. What do you do when a boxer is getting hurt or outclassed in the ring? What would you tell the boxer in that scenario?
What would you, if he's getting outclassed, if he can't, if you're watching it, if you think if it's outclassed and you can't think of something else that he can do, like whatever, it all depends on what's going on. You know what I mean? If he's not doing it, your main thing is don't let him get hurt.
Exactly.
For a coach, do not let him get hurt. Stop. If you got to stop the fight, throw a towel in.
Exactly.
Throw a towel in. And there'll be another time. Don't even worry about it. There's going to be another time. It's going to happen sometimes. You got kids coming to gym, man, that pick it up, boom. They'll pick it up and their first fight. I mean, Dad, Grandpa, we had plenty times where he been questioned on first fights. Ain't no way that's that kid's first fight. For instance,
exactly.
Mickey Bates.
You always can tell.
Yeah. For instance, Mickey Bates, he went straight open, which is the podcast right now should know that open division is the advanced division. He went straight open in his first fight and dominated a kid with over like 50 fights. In the state silver gloves. This was like 1975, 76. And they was, there's no way that's that kid's first fight. But it was. He picked it up so quick. He was just dominant.
Exactly.
Most of our kids back then during the 70s, we all went straight open. We didn't mess with that novice stuff. A lot of us went straight open. Mm-hmm. So we was straight from the get-go off. And that's why I try to tell these guys, like you're talking about the training just a minute ago, you got to do, my opinion, this is my opinion, but it's my opinion, but I seen the results. We gave it 100% when we did the shadow boxing. When we hit the bag, when we jump rope, and when we spar, we did our sparring how we're supposed to do our sparring, and our exercises. And then our running back in the day was on our own. Nowadays, a lot of gyms go do the running together.
You got to make them.
Because my dad always made us do it on, we did it on our own until some gyms, it depends what gym we were at. Like the Armory, we had the big fields out there in the back and all that stuff. Oh, yeah. But it was always 100%. I don't understand. I watch these guys in bags now. You see the videos where they're just tapping and doing their solo stuff. I didn't do it. But then again, we don't know if that guy already did 8 rounds hard, like Floyd.
Yeah, exactly.
He probably already did 8 rounds 100%, and they just got the video of him doing the little tap stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what I tell him. I tell him that's all I did. And you did not see me on 3-minute rounds hanging, tired, dropping my mouthpiece or whatever. You didn't see me doing that.
I see that a lot. Now you said that mouthpiece thing. I see that happen a lot. I'm like, okay, is it not like you're not biting down that thing or it's too big or what? Because you see it happening a lot. And I never remember seeing that happen back in the days. The only time that happened back in the days is when you're in there and you're throwing and you get caught and that mouthpiece goes flying, not just by someone just falling out your mouth. I see that a lot too. But yeah,
a lot of them are trying to breathe, pal.
They don't know.
The shape they're supposed to be in.
Exactly, too.
Unless it's a jacked up mouthpiece that they fitted. I see a lot of kids. Man, see that mouthpiece. Man, how'd you? What the?
And that's the thing. I'm glad you said that because that's the thing I do now. I fit the mouthpieces for the kids. I have my own little burner in the bathroom, my little pot, and my little fork, and all that stuff. So because I got tired of sending mouthpieces home with kids, and they come back and it's all tore up. And they don't waste my money. You know what I mean? That's my thing. That's my thing to them.
Trust me, man. I bought. I back and say I probably bought over 40, 50 of them before.
Yeah. Hey, just get yourself a little bitty hot plate. Take your little pan in there and a little little big fork thing, and you won't be running through mouthpieces like that unless they lose them because you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Oh, lost.
I remember the days, though, man, when it wasn't all this COVID stuff going on, though. But I remember that the coffee can full of mouthpieces at the gym.
Oh yeah, I remember them. I tell them people that all the time. They look at me all crazy because they're like,
back then, it didn't matter, man. People trying to cough each other's pop all the time and all that stuff back in the 70s.
Exactly. I got a bunch of mouthpieces sitting right there by my radio from boxers who aren't there anymore. And someone like, well, I don't have my mouthpiece. I look over. I said, well, I have some over here. What? We can't do it. I'm like, oh man. I said, man. And I guess you just
we had to have that mouthpiece. If he said we were sparring, if Dad said we were sparring that day, you had that mouthpiece. Ooh, you was in trouble. So you go stick one of them mouthpieces real quick.
Yep, exactly. And the funny thing is about that, people with the drinking water and stuff, I was like, man, y'all's a bunch of sissies. I tell them all the time, man. We didn't drink water back then. We spit that stuff right back out. My grandfather knew how much water he put in our mouth. If you spit half of that water out, he smack you in your goddamn head and saying, you better spit all that water back. You don't drink any of that water. And then guys just look at me all crazy. Go, no, that's how it was. That's how we was built. You guys aren't built like us. I'm keep trying to tell you guys that all the time. They just look at me and start laughing. I'm like, I'm for real, man.
You're right, pal. I go through that same thing, man, when they ask me for water. I'll say, damn, man, you didn't sweat here. What you need water for? I go, we didn't drink water. We couldn't rinse our mouth out. That's all we got to do. Only if we sparred that day. If we didn't spar that day, you didn't get no water at all. You didn't rinse your mouth out at all. You just did the whole deal. I said, and now it's important. I understand that it's important to have water on it. I don't know how we did it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how we did it, but now it's important. You got to have that water, man. But yeah, he was. Matter of fact, before he passed, he was coming down to gym part time at the time when I first took over. And someone brought some water in, and he seen the dude grab a bottle of water. He took off from his spot where he's always standing at. Mm-hmm. What you do with that water? I was like, oh man. I said, Dad, no, they can drink water now. It was hot. Yeah, that gym. We only had one window in that gym, and the window never opened. We kept that window closed. And he was mad. Everybody's pouring down sweat. I said, no, Dad, it's good. It's okay. They can drink water now. And stuff like that. Yeah. And he was like, what you drink that water for, boy?
That's funny you say that because when I'm like, say for instance, where Tree was fighting still and we were getting close to like the month out, how you start picking up more things and you're holding, you're doing more stuff and they're like, Coach, how do you do that? How do you go all them rounds with everybody and then you go with Tree and you don't drink no water? I said, because that's how I was built, man.
Yep.
That's how we were built. I said, we didn't need all this damn water like you guys need after every round running back and get some water. Man, we don't need that. So I shut that down real quick. I tell the parents, I said, they don't be feeding these kids water. They don't need water. I tell them all the time, I said, I want you to need the water. I don't want you to want it.
Yep.
Because everyone wants everything. But if you're going to keep wanting all that water, you're going to fill yourself up. And then when I say, hey, let's get in there and spar and catch that cramp, you think I'm going to feel sorry for you if you're cramping up? Nope. I'm going to tell the other person, go a little harder, push him, and he's going to learn a lesson that day, stop drinking so much damn water. And that's the same thing about, going out running. Because I always say, okay, just take a little sip before I go outside and run. Don't drink a lot because you're going to feel it. if you drink a bunch of water, you're gonna feel it. Just kind of pretty much rinse your mouth out. Pretty much what I tell them. So that was his little scenario about Tony was asking about that question, and I'm just saying like the same thing with what you said. Us coaches know our boxers. We know is there another day. Stop the fight when we can, because not all officials know your boxer and don't know that okay, he might get back out of there, especially with the newer kids, because the newer kids, some like you said, some have been I'm gonna say it again, been fighting for years and only have a couple fights. You know what I mean? They get in there against somebody with one fight, there's no fights, and next you know that fight ain't looking good. So yeah, that was from Tony Spencer. I want to talk about a little post I seen you post the other day. I thought it was pretty interesting to me, because I hear this stuff too. I post about pro boxers versus bodybuilders when they're trying to box. I keep trying to tell people all the time, man, it don't make a difference how you look. You can have all these muscles in the world. If you don't know how to fight, box, then you don't have the right cardio and stuff, you're just gonna get worked pretty much at the end of the day. What do you think about that?
I believe it. I never had the body, the built little muscles and all this stuff coming up when I was fighting. When I was really starting to at my prime type stuff. I really didn't see my primes. I stopped at 19 because I had a kid early. I got married at 19. I had to work and stuff like that. But I always used to go into these matches, and I remember going into one against it was Iowa versus the Army. We used to bring Army in. Iowa did, and they make up the 12 weight classes back then. Now it's 10 weight classes, but we had the 106, the 112, 19 on up. And I was fighting. I get on the scale with the cat, and he gets off with his muscles. Gets off with you 132? Yeah, he's all cut. Talking that stuff, man. I looked at him, and I never was this guy like that. I didn't do all that. I was humble, man.
All the talking was Uncle. All your talking was done in the ring.
Yep, exactly. And I looked at him. I just looked at him, and I said, "Hey, we'll see tonight." That's all. Walk off. We'll see tonight. And sure enough, that muscle didn't mean nothing.
It didn't mean nothing. Funny, I'm glad you said that.
The power of your punches. The power of your punches is from how you throw your punch.
And it goes
your
back.
Hips, your legs.
Exactly. That's why I keep trying to tell these guys, man. They don't listen about that.
That's why you got to learn that technique down. And I preach it all the time.
All the time.
And especially hands up. Yeah. Oh my gosh. They just think that's so cool, having hands down and all this stuff. But they just don't understand. If your hands are up, how quicker your jab will get there from if your hands are up, you throw the jab compared to your hands are down to down to your hips and you're throwing a jab. Yeah. They just don't understand.
They don't understand that,
they
man.
Just want to look cool. They want to look cool doing it.
And that's funny you mentioned that, because I remember to this day it was at the regionals up in, I want to say right outside of Marshalltown. You were ready to fight this guy who took pictures with everybody before he fought. Came over to you and said, "Hey, I need to take a picture of you because I always take pictures of people I beat." You remember that, dude?
Yeah,
I remember that.
That was the junior championships regionals in that little town right by Marshalltown.
Right outside Marshalltown. I remember that. I remember what I do remember is the dude laying out on the table knocked out. That shit was funny.
That was my best knockout ever, man.
Ever. That was that
for about 2 minutes.
And that was that was awesome. And it's funny because I have people ask me about that liver shot with the hell's name, Ryan.
Garcia?
I said, I tell you what. I said, I remember getting dropped one time with a liver shot. I said, it was at regionals. It was the same tournament we're talking about. That Hispanic kid hit me with that body shot. And I remember Grandpa saying, if you ever get hurt to the body, you take a knee because if you can't breathe, you're gonna end up getting knocked out. And I remember getting hit with that clean body shot, threw that right hand and missed him. He hit me with that body shot. I was like, I can't breathe. So I took that knee, got back up and finished the fight. I'm like, it is what it is. Like I said, with the Ryan thing, they all made their money and stuff, but I tell people all the time, you still can get up from a body shot. You just have to want to get up.
Yeah.
Like I said, he could have got up and got dropped one more time, and people wouldn't been talking about it anymore. But he didn't. Yeah, exactly. You seen that? You know what I mean? Maybe when he got hit and got dropped that second round, he got to thinking, you know what? Shit, I'm out of here. I got my check. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? But I remember that. So to this day, about you knocking that dude out, and it wasn't funny, but now that I look back at it, it was funny because the dude was so cocky. He
did that. He did that to me, and if you remember, the night before we were chilling at the pool at the hotel, and he got right in front of me. I'm sitting at the pool, and he stood up right in front of me, man, with his dad, and hit the mitt.
I remember.
I looked at him. I was like, man, them things don't hit back.
Don't
man.
hit back.
Looked at him. I felt disrespected, and that's what it was. I got into that zone, psyched myself up. I got into that zone, and then that was it.
That's it. That was a wrap. That's for sure a wrap. Let's talk about how much wasted talent have you seen come in and out of your gym? Like, I wouldn't say that's just someone that came in and never fought. It's like people came in, got some fights underneath the belt. You're like, man, this kid got some talent if he can stay in the gym.
Man, a lot. Man, there is a lot of talent here in the Quad City. There is.
Oh, I believe it.
There's a lot of talent here. These kids, man. Well, you know the one we had, a little guy, man.
Yeah, man.
Just so much. I mean, I really believed. He had me believing a lot of things, man, of the old times, man, of what he was doing already. His thinking of the game when he was at 12 years old and stuff. You know, I couldn't wait to see him at. Always waiting. I can't wait to see him at 17, 18. But man, the street Scotty, man, it is so sad because they already know what all their families have done already. Why are you following them? When they're not even doing nothing.
Yeah.
Why do you want to be that 10 years, 10 years down the road, or in jail or whatever? Why? I don't understand it. They want to steal cars. Cool. They think it's cool smoking weed all the time.
Yes, man.
And don't get me wrong. I try to puff here and there, But if you're going to be a boxer, you can't be doing it.
Can't be doing it.
Can't.
Yep.
You can't. We got one trying to make the comeback now, and he still hasn't over the past 3 years now, and it's still catching him. He just can't. He can't finish. He ain't got that 3 minute, 3 rounds in him. And he runs out.
Like I have a guy.
So much talent, man. Just so much talent. We have a lot coming out. We have a lot coming out here, man. It's just, and I got some now, dealing with some now, But there's some other problems they have too, family problems or stuff like that. Yeah, but we do have some, like right now, that I'm dealing with, I pick them up, man. I go pick them up.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Some people get on me. Oh, man, why? But, man, you understand, I understand that part too. Why am I doing it? Man, I want to see him succeed is what it is, man. I'm tired of people saying this and that about a certain race or whatever. They don't want to do nothing anyway. Yeah. But, they're lazy. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of hearing that. So I want to see them succeed, So I try to I was driving, man. It was ridiculous,
I know.
Man. I was driving 30 miles.
You was like a school bus.
Hey,
yeah, I know. Yeah. Just like Grandpa did back in the day.
It wasn't like a certain point. Make him get there and pick him up. Man, I was driving way over there, then way over there, then in the Quad City area, man. It was, but I just want to see them succeed, man. And then they disappoint me a little bit, man. When you don't
I was ready to say
that.
You can help kids out in so many ways. Like I said before, I'm not trying to boss the kid around, or I'm just trying to help them succeed the best they can. You can give them a lot of advice, but it's up to them guys at the end of the day. And it does hurt as a coach to a certain extent when you put a lot of time into somebody and then they just waste it. They just throw it out the window. They're like, okay, I just wasted all that time on you, and all I'm asking is a little give back. That's all I'm asking. Just a little try, a little give back. It still happens to this day. You get these young kids think, it may be better over this side, over that way. It's not. Believe me. Some kids can't handle the discipline. They want to be on their own. They want to be out there doing their own thing so they can look cool, like you were saying, because that shit ain't happening at my gym. I'm sure you be saying the same stuff at your gym. They like to see that happen, and then when they notice and they get out there and they start fighting, and they notice, wow, this is not over here. I need to go back over there. Well, guess what? My door only opens twice to a kid, for real. The first time you leave on your own, you got to learn your lesson. You come back, I'll let you back in. After that, that's pretty much, I'm not going to sit there and just keep, saying stuff over and over and over. That's like talking to a wall. I'm like, I'm not doing that, man. So they'll learn as it goes. And like I said, there's some talent up here too in Des Moines, but at the same time, you got to get that talent together and let it work together. It doesn't happen that much up here. Keeping it real, but it is what it is, man. So it's boxing. I get a lot of people don't understand the boxing. They just think it's all about putting these gloves on, and you don't believe how many people come to my gym just from my adult class that I have, and they sit there like, man, there's a lot here. There's a lot that goes on. I said, man, you're not even close to what you need to know. Believe me, and these guys are always saying, about, and I'm not even close to even sharing a lot of the stuff that I've seen you go through or Grandpa put other people through, watching this, watching that, because they're not even ready for that yet. Mm-hmm. They're not even ready for that yet. So, we already went through them too. So, training new kids, Pat, that never boxed before, never played any kind of sport. Just a new kid coming in off the street with mom and dad, and my kid wants to box. My question first is, what sport has he played? Oh, he hasn't played any sports. Mm-hmm. And I've said that on one of my other podcasts. Is like, dang, okay, you sure you want him to box? What do you what do you see? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's one. Matter of fact, we had one. I got one out right now that came with his brother and his, I think a cousin. 15 years old, about 130 pounds. Never really played the sports, but he wants to try, do something. And it's right now looking like it's just going to be something that he wants to learn. He just wants to try to learn a little bit. He don't. Exactly. He's not thinking about competing at all. He got that one time sparring one in, and then he's just don't think he's just going to learn, learn how, which is cool.
And that's what I taught the parents too a lot.
I know Grandpa was different.
Yeah,
Granddad was different. It was straight competition or get out. It was just his own way, man. He had his own ways of things.
This is how it was, man.
But obviously it worked. I mean, we had so much talent that came out of there, man. He's the most winningest coach in Iowa history.
That's what I try to tell people all the time, man. I said, because you hear me say it a lot. I tell other people, I said, man, if our own people got to spar each other, we're gonna make each other better because we have a lot of good talent in my gym. So that was the one thing back then. Everybody was dogs back then, and I keep trying to tell these guys, man, you can spar one guy at this weight level, and this one the weight class up, and they were all dogs. I tried to tell them how when we went to tournaments, Grandpa had almost someone in every weight class. We used to win all the team trophies and all that stuff. I said, you just don't see anything like that no more. That's what it goes back to, how much harder it was back then to fight, because it was so much more boxing back then, because now you have a lot of wrestling clubs and a lot of soccer clubs. You didn't have all that stuff back then. You know what I mean? We used to.
Yeah, that's true though. That's true. I didn't. You know what, pal? That's a good one, man. I didn't even think of that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's why you're missing a lot. Yeah, people going to this. They got all this competition. What do they call it? Travel teams now. Baseball, the soccer. I didn't even think of that.
It was like the poor man's sport. Anyone could go into the boxing club back then because Grandpa didn't charge anybody. Nowadays, you can't do that, man. I can't do that up here, or I wouldn't have no club. So I gotta do what I gotta do up here to charge a little fees to get in. Throw my shows, have fundraisers where I'm gonna start doing again now that COVID's gone, because that put a damper on a lot of my fundraising going on. It's constantly work, man. People think it's just easy to run this and run it. It's not, man. There's a lot of work behind it. And I respect all the stuff Grandpa did back in the days. Now that I'm a coach, I can see all that stuff, and I just love doing it, man. It's just, man. I don't know why it took so long away from me, but I know I had the family and stuff, and got the divorce, moved up here, and didn't know nothing about boxing for the first 2015 when I found out there was still boxing up here, and that's when I got back into it. But yeah, it's just changed a lot over the years. But now you get all these boxers that used to box back in the days are all becoming coaches, and now this and that, and you like like me and Tree used to talk about all the time when I was training him. Iowa needs to unite as one. Iowa's behind everybody. We know that. I know we got a couple guys doing pretty good at the Golden Gloves right now, but it's nothing like nothing like it used to be. And we can definitely get it back there. We just gotta try to keep these kids in the gym, do the best we can for these kids. But at the same but at the same time, these kids gotta want it, and they gotta listen, man. They gotta listen to the old school guys, because the old school guys knows what's going on. These young school kids think they know what's going on, and they don't. But other than that, man, that weed's that's a big one. That's a big one. That's a big one, because I had this guy that came back. He came back. He's an older guy. He came back last night. I haven't seen him since June, when he won 2 fights at Sarge, and they made him 3-0. Nice, slick boxer. Not gonna say his name. He knows who he is, and that's the first thing I told him. He goes, "Man, I'm ready to make a comeback, coach." I said, "You should never stop." I said, "But I know what you do need to stop doing." I said, "Because that's not gonna make you any better." Yeah, I got you. I said, "Don't tell me you got me. Get yourself, man. You don't gotta get me. Get yourself. Stop doing that. You gotta stop it, man." But other than that, man, I'm gonna let you go for the day. It was a pleasure talking to you, Uncle. I'm definitely gonna get my kids back there. We're gonna make it a weekend thing, man. If family wants to go back there, we'll go back there and kick it in a hotel or something and get a whole weekend of sparring in, like Friday night, Saturday, Sunday morning, and come back home, man. Because we got to get that grinding with you guys back there, because there's some good talent, especially in your gym with your guys in and around talent. If we want to get them all in the same gym, if not, we'll just go gym to gym. It don't make a difference to me. I just have a few. I don't have a bunch like I used to. Like you said, I have a bag full of passports downstairs of wasted talent. So, and I got some that are ready, and some newer ones that need it. So, it's that kind of thing. So, we wanted to do a video, but I think you didn't want that video anyway, Uncle. You rather do the audio. You're not a big video man.
Yeah, I'm not a guy.
Neither am I. They're turning me into one.
I like to be the back.
Yeah, they're turning me into one of these social media guys, but I can do it to a certain extent, man. I can't be all that crazy stuff. Right. You know how it goes. Right. You're gonna get little snippets. Isn't that right? Yeah. Isn't that right, Abraham? Snippets. Is that what you called it earlier? Mr. Snippet. Mr. Snippet. Oh, don't make me start freestyling down here. Go Bella called me out there one day. This girl up here, her dad owns the company, and she told me to freestyle. I said, "You don't know about that, girl. We used to sit on that." So, Uncle Pat, And matter of fact, the night, if I remember correctly, the night of it was either the nun fight or another party you had at your house down in the basement when me and Niall was freestyling off the Soul to Soul, back to life. Remember that? We had them pipes in our hand. We was down there freestyling with our shirts off. We was getting it, boy. We had everyone down there going crazy. I remember that, man. I remember all the good times, man.
Get to bring out Young Brothers again.
Young Brothers, boy. I'm still trying to look for that tape. I'm still trying to look for that. But Uncle, it was a pleasure talking to you. We definitely got to get you back on soon. Later on down the road, because we ain't going anywhere. We're going to try to get better and better. Like I said, I'm real new to this stuff. I'm just trying to get into it and just go with the flow. But you have anything to say? Heading out of here?
No, I'm just thanks for having me on, man. Abraham, I have to meet you sometime, man.
Yep, Abraham's cool. Yep, Abraham. Maybe someday you're up here on the weekend, and we'll get you on that video.
Okay, yeah, sounds good, man.
All right, well, we'll talk with you, Uncle. And this is one of Iowa's best amateur boxers. I know it's the debate all the time, but the debate is always about the Peña's boxers. We all know that. We all know that. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, Uncle, I appreciate you being with me today. To everyone out there, we out.
All right, bub.